We had a meeting this past Sunday, and I realized several people couldn't be there. Rather than try to summarize what we talked about, I thought it'd be best to try to shoot you a video. This will help you to stay awake, and maybe you'll see some famous people walk by in the window behind me. So anyway, a couple things just to go over real quick. First, we made a decision that as part of a rhythm as a church, we're going to go to a model called Second Sunday. And the second Sunday of every month, instead of the normal sermon, we will have a much more extended ministry time and prayer time. So that will actually be starting this Sunday, November 10th. So on those Sundays, Brittany will still have people scheduled for the prayer teams, but I would just ask if you're there, it would be an all hands on deck approach to what we're going to ask for ministry that morning. Our hope then is not just to separate those as mornings of ministry, but instead what happens on those mornings would then bleed over into regular Sundays. And so if you're familiar with the main campus here, they have a Wednesday night service that is much more focused on ministry, and it's often those Wednesday night services that then grow to affect Sunday mornings. That's our hope, is that the second Sunday would actually kind of show up throughout the rest of the month as well. So with this launch of Second Sunday, starting this Sunday, we're going to be introducing the role of prophetic words. We have a prophetic ministry team here at St. Andrews who meets early in the week. They pray, they listen, they ask the Lord for any words of encouragement to strengthen the body. And this Sunday, that's going to be the focus of the teaching leading into our ministry time. That as shepherd, we have as sheep, we have a shepherd who still speaks, who we can still hear his voice, and that's going to be the groundwork for introducing prophetic words. That's what we're going to call them, prophetic words. So it's my job on Sunday to debunk a lot of myths about prophecy, and instead we will be offering these words. Every week, these words will be offered in a couple ways. First, they'll be read from the front. As they're read, they'll be up on the screen behind me so that there's no confusion about what's said. And then thirdly, we're going to print off several copies of them and have them with the prayer teams so that if people come over and say, I think that word was for me, what was it? You're not responsible for having to memorizing them all. There will be sheets over there behind you. If somebody comes to get prayer and they believe one of the words is for them, I'd ask you to do a couple things. First, this is an example of what you might see over by the prayer stations. It's just a list of all the prophetic words that we'll have printed off. You can give them a copy of this after you've prayed for them because they would it's very encouraging to walk away with a tangible reminder of what the word was, right? But secondly, if you pray for somebody, so like this first word, for a young woman who as a child played hopscotch drawn with chalk, the Lord still sees you as this sweet little girl, he will always be your daddy. If a woman comes over to you and said, I really think that word is for me, after you're done praying for her, put a little mark next to it, and let's keep track of how accurate these words are or whether people are responding or not, okay? So just make a little mark. We'll have one on a clipboard. The rest will be in a little stack so you can just give these out to anybody who comes to receive a specific word, okay? This Sunday, I'm going to ask for a couple prayer teams to come right down front, kind of where the communion stations normally are. We'll still have some teams over on the side. I'm going to ask for a couple teams to come forward. I'm going to ask y'all just to sort out who that is. But if you are down front, please try to stay in the middle so that you're not affected by the speaker sound on the side. If you're in front of the speakers, it's so hard to hear. But if you're right in the middle of the front of the stage, there's actually kind of like a dead zone for sound. You can be right there and still hear. Okay, so that's specific to our second Sundays and the ministry times that we hope to see on those Sundays. We will be offering the prophetic words every week. This week we're going to offer several. It looks like five to seven. Most Sundays we're just going to offer 2. And those are just there to kind of prime the pump for people to receive and go for ministry. So just a couple things about what I'd like to see in those ministry times whenever you're on prayer team. First, don't just let it turn into a time of encouragement for people. I know that sounds very non-pastoral, but the point of them coming up for prayer is we want them to meet with the Lord. And I think sometimes, for whatever reason, instead of us just connecting them, like playing matchmaker, them and the Lord, we want to speak over them something. And sometimes it's not bad. It can be a word of encouragement. But for example, a woman comes up and says, I just got dumped by my fiance. our natural tendency is to gonna want to like pastor her and encourage her, right? Like, well, I'm sure the Lord has a plan and all these things, and he does, and those are true. But that's not what the prayer ministry time is for. What we want her to experience in that moment is the presence and power of Jesus. So how I would handle that situation, and I would encourage you to the same, when that woman comes to you and says, I just got dumped by my fiance and I'm just really struggling, you can encourage her in the way of saying, you know what, the Lord is already at work in this, or you wouldn't have known to even come receive prayer. So know that he's already at work. And now let's just go to him and let's see what he wants to do for you this morning. And then just ask if you can lay a hand on her shoulder and pray for her. And what you should pray for is really just for her to know his presence and his power in that moment, encouraging her to receive just whatever he'd have. And what this does is it reminds people that they can go to the Lord in these times. We don't want them to create, we don't want to create addicts of people who can only get prayer on Sunday mornings because we're the trained people. What we're actually wanting to do is equip people to receive on their own. And so let that be just a challenge to you of don't cover up the pain they're in by encouraging them. Just allow them to come and allow them to know they're received and welcomed as they come in all truth and just what they might be struggling with. So after you're praying for a minute, and maybe if it's silent, it's okay. You can just ask them, do you sense that the Lord is doing anything? Do you sense that he's saying anything? And the primary role of that ministry time is for you to come alongside what the Lord is already doing. Okay, so I'm not saying not to encourage. I'm not saying, but I just think that can't be the primary role we have prayer teams in place. They're not just there to encourage. They're not there to counsel. What you guys should really be embodying is people encountering the presence and the power of Jesus. So as they come up for prayer, just ask the Lord to really bless them and be powerful to them. Okay, so let me know if you have any questions. Email me back. You don't have to record a video and upload it. And then I'll probably just give you some more updates this way. I realize that trying to meet on Sunday morning as a team is really difficult. So thank you all who are there on Sunday, but also just wanted to try to communicate this way as well. So let me know if you have any questions. Please be praying about things for Sunday. This feels like we're at a major turning point in what we're asking the Lord that we're supposed to be about as a church, is just unapologetically. We're about his presence and his power, and we don't need to apologize for it. So again, thank you all. I so love and appreciate your commitment to the church. Be praying for us going into Sunday, and let's just really expect to see the kingdom come, okay? All right, love you all. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.